This video is brought to you by Patreon supporter Scott. Well, hello and welcome. You find yourself checking out the Zeiss CONQUEST V4 1:4x24 with the ZQAR illuminated reticle. This being a second focal plane scope, as you can see when we change it from 1x to 4x, the reticle does not change size. A little bit of eye box change shift from 1 to 2, but it's not terrible. The illumination, I'm very happy to announce, is daytime bright. However, I don't know if I completely agree with the choices that Zeiss made as far as picking what parts of this reticle to illuminate. The center dot and the drops are great, but those two little semicircles above the dot were drawing my eye more to that as being the center than the dot being the center. I know that's a problem with myself, so take that with a grain of salt, but if you like it, you're going to like it, because the reticle is at least clean, it's usable, and the illumination is great. Let's see how well this thing tracks. Illumination on this scope is pretty good, as you can see. I'll leave it at maximum, and I'm going to use the quick adjust on the windage to track and see if it returns to 0. That is a lot of windage adjustment. And to 0, that looks, yep, that looks friggin' awesome. Yep, that is a lot of windage. You'll never need that much windage adjustment, and that is 0. So it looks to be perfect. Well, that's all the elevation adjustment we have. So that's it. That's all the elevation we got. Yep, that is funny. We were one click off of 25, which would put us there. So not a whole lot of adjustment on the elevation, but the windage is awesome. The lack of elevation adjustment, I'm pretty sure, was down to a stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maximum brightness. So at least it tracks really well. Even though I don't get the whole fad with having target turrets on 1 to 4 LPVOs with drop reticles, but that's another topic for another day. The illumination on this thing is excellent. It gets obviously from basically off to more than bright enough. And the great thing about having illumination on an LPVO that's more than bright enough is that it's going to draw your eye to the center. And if you use it both eyes open like you would a red dot, your brain will superimpose the image in both eyes. When you get really good at it, it's fantastic and it works stupendously well. Here's the illumination bumped up a little bit more, and you're not going to lose it no matter where you are. This is a very bright flashlight, very close quarters with fairly bright backgrounds. Pew pew, pew pew. And as you can see, the flashlight is not overpowering the illumination, which is great. Another nice thing is just how large the reticle is. It's really hard to lose, especially with how bright it gets. Pew pew, pew pew. Even though I don't necessarily agree with how much Zeiss decided they were going to illuminate of this reticle. Pew pew, pew pew. Me personally, I'm perfectly fine with a very, very bright center dot and leave the rest alone. Or have maybe the illumination bleed into the drops a little bit so it's not as bright as the center dot, forcing your eye to look at that as well. Little Grogu has been rescued. There's only one LPVO that I've actually got my hands on that does that, and it is excellent when you use it properly. Anyway, let's bump it up to now 50 yards at our small bore range. And let's talk a little bit more about the 1X. The 1X performance is actually extremely good on this thing inside the center. And you're going to note around the edges, it doesn't stay as sharp as I would personally like, and it actually takes away from the entire experience a lot. But look at the back black berm above the targets, it stays almost perfectly flat. The same thing goes for the please pick up the brass sign. It has very little magnification, and the fisheyeing that you might see is not necessarily actual fisheye, but just from the edges not being perfectly sharp. However, once you go above that to 4X like you see now, it is incredibly sharp and clear. This LPVO actually does something that a lot of other scopes don't do, which is as you go higher in magnification, it gets better and better. The illumination is on full, and it might not seem that impressive right now, but this is literally stupid bright out there. A lot of sun and a lot of snow is a recipe for disaster with any sort of illumination. Now granted, you can see a little bit better to the naked eye, but it's something to keep in mind. But now let's take a look at the eye box. And the eye box on this thing at 1X is pretty standard. Even though you might have already caught a glimpse, you can get this thing to look like It's bigger than it actually is, and we're going to hold on that in a second. But for the most part, it's pretty damn average. It might look very impressive, but the problem with when you get it like that, yes, you don't see a lot of the scope body, but when we freeze frame it right now, you could really start to appreciate just how much blurring there is in the edge. I'd much rather have an LPVO with a slight bit of magnification that's razor sharp center to edge than this, because when you have the blurred edges to it, it just takes you out of it, or at least it does for me. And it's something that I cannot accept with an LPVO.
2x.
However, once we bump it up to about 2x, all of those problems basically go away. And like I said, the higher you go in magnification with this thing, the better and better it gets. The 2x on this thing is razor sharp, and the eye box is at least average to maybe a little bit above average, because you can still get a tremendous view through this LPVO, more so than I would say with most other LPVOs. Here again at 4x, and the good news continues to happen, because not only is it razor sharp, but the eye box is fairly generous, all things considered, and you can still get away with seeing very little of the scope body. It's really, really damn nice. But unfortunately, as nice as the 4x is, I don't know if it trumps the 1x issues that I have with it personally. Hopefully by now you have a good sense of how this thing handles 1x and the scale and perspective that it gives you when you're behind it. Again, it's still pretty damn good, but every once in a while those edges just take me out of it, and it's not something that I personally care for all too much. But again, no one can deny how sharp and how good this thing looks from the center, from 1x to 4x. Illumination is on full, and as you can see, it clearly gets washed out here simply because of just how bright it is. If it wasn't this bright, you wouldn't even notice that it was changing color. 4x going above the power lines, there's very little to no distortion at it wherever you are, whether it's the center or the edge. If you're going to be using this thing above 1x, at whatever distance, you are not going to be disappointed with it whatsoever. It's a tremendously good performing scope at 4x. That's 400 yards away, and it is a very sharp and clear image. Yes, it's slightly washed out from the sun, but you have no problem identifying everything that we're looking at, and it's crystal clear from even the scaffold, which is right outside my apartment, probably about 15 yards away, all the way out to those power transformers, which is 800 yards away. This is my first time with a Zeiss, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed right off the bat. It's got a lot going for it. There's just a couple of things that, for me personally, would steer me away from this as opposed to something else like the P4XI. Alright, let's get in a little more dynamic environment again, and see what it looks like to actually use in, well, I mean, I don't know who's going to be clearing around a dumpster, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Again, the illumination is on full, and it might get washed out on the snow, but this is still the middle of the day. Granted, it's slightly overcast, but snow is a very hard thing to film illuminated reticles against. On anything else other than the snow, the illumination pops beautifully. But you know what? Enjoy a little bit of the ambiance right now. This scope has a lot of things about it that are awesome. The things I'm nitpicking about are just nitpicks for me personally and the style that I personally look for when I'm buying anything in my life. If you like how the illumination looks and you think you could work around it, and you can work around the slight blurring at the edge at 1x, then this is a freaking tremendously good LPVO. Yes, it is a little on the pricier side, but this is a Japanese-made LPVO.
Pew.
Not only that, but you can buy these for like around $550 or less. And in my opinion, that is tremendously good value for money. But we'll touch on that more in my final thoughts. For right now, enjoy a little bit more ambiance. Oh shit. RePew. Aww. RePew. 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 Give me back my hat. Ho, ho, ho. So there you have it. This is a really, really nice 1:4 LPVO. Made in Japan, as I said earlier, and all the features of this thing just work. Granted, I don't necessarily agree with them, but that's just the way it is. One thing that it triggers my mind a little bit is they inverted how the magnification ring usually looks. Typically, the ring itself has the magnification number on it. There's a little mark on the back that will line up with it. This is the exact opposite, and it kind of hurts my brain to think about, okay, one's over here, four's over here. No, it's the exact opposite, but that's neither here nor there. Just something that you gotta get used to. The splines on this are pretty good. I just wish they were a little bit sharper. But again, this is going to benefit greatly from a throw lever. They did include this little nub over here with a little set screw inside there. But I don't know if you could remove this and add a cattail or something like that. But it would be nice to have a little bit more on here. But other than that, it is buttery smooth. It's excellent. The illumination knob again is great. Turrets are solid. Though I don't necessarily agree with this being a locking target turret, just keep it capped and make it simple. Now everyone's a stickler for weight, and this thing comes in fairly lightweight, 17.1 ounces. To give you a reference, the P4XI comes in around 17.3 ounces, so this is not heavy by any means. The slight flaws I found with it affect me personally. They might not affect you, and if they don't, this is tremendously good for what it is. I'm a huge fan of the 1:4 LPVO, especially one like this, where the 1X is good and the 4X is tremendously good on this. Truthfully, a good 4X will get you out to 400-500 yards on a larger size target, yes, but it'll still get you out there. Another nice thing about being limited to 4X is if you were to miss, you would at least see where your splash hit, and maybe you'd even see your bullet's vapor trail. If you're looking for a 1:4 that's in that mid-range budget, 550, or even less if you look right now, this is really, really, really solid. Tremendously so. I haven't been this excited for an LPVO in a while, especially with the view it gives you through the back. Again, at 1X, the edge is going to be a little bit blurry in most situations, but everything else is just, it's tremendously good. Again, a huge thank you to Patreon provider Scott for sending this in for review. As you can see, this was a Christmas-oriented video, and Christmas has been over for 2 and some odd months now, so a little delayed in getting this out, but tremendous thank you to Scott for sending this in, and thank you all very much for watching. See you again next time. And a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you, this wouldn't be possible.